Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your main man, Sinister, along with Shy, and welcome to our special broadcast. This is called Shy and the Sinister Guy. And we're here to discuss Black Panther and the Infinity War. And just a note, right, for those who haven't seen it yet, you may want to avoid this podcast until you go check it out. But for those who've seen it, there's going to be spoilers ahead. So anyone who's seen it probably knows what happened. So you're welcome to join. So I'm gonna let my co-host introduce herself.
Hey y'all, this is your girl Shy here. My main man Sinister here. We're here to talk about as he just said, the Black Panther and Infinity Wars. Chilling out here in Baltimore, Maryland, a nice 77 degrees. Here to talk to you about these two great movies that just came out in the last couple of months.
Yeah, but I'm chilling here here in Kentucky in this 82-degree weather. And yeah, so we're gonna discuss these two juggernauts, of course, multi-billion-dollar movies. So
yeah,
we're gonna discuss Black Panther first, since they came out back in February, and then ever since it took off, it was just like an epic phenomenon. I mean, ever since it hit Thursday night, that early screening showings, I mean, it just took over like the rest of February, pretty much dominated majority of March. So.
How epic it came out on Black History Month, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I for a long time, I have to say, I have not been excited about going to the movies for anything. Usually I'm like, I'll wait till it comes out, on demand or something like that. But this time, when I saw the previews for it, I was like, I can't even remember what movie I went to go see when I saw the previews. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to have to be there, because I've been pretty much a Black Panther fan. One of my favorite characters is Storm. And I have this book here, and it talks about their relationship or how they first met. Here's Black Panther in the background and Storm by Eric Jerome Dickey. Really good story. So when I heard that the movie was coming out, I said, I am going to be there. I think I went that Saturday. I didn't go opening night. And yeah, I was just blown away. I said, oh my God, this is, a good friend of mine, Jonathan. So if he's watching, what's up, Jonathan? He bought a whole bunch of tickets for a lot of friends to go see it. And then my goddaughter, she had got honor roll, so she wanted to go see it. So I paid for her and her mom and cousin and friends to go see it. And she absolutely loved it. Now she calls herself the Queen of Wakanda. So, it made an impact on the 7-year-olds. So, hey, I was really happy about that. What are your thoughts, when you first went to go see it?
Yeah, my friend of mine, shout out to my boy Ferris. He bought the tickets. We went opening night. I mean, it was like the last showing over at the Regal IMAX. And it's like, hey, epic sound and stuff like that. It was great.
Yeah.
But of course, it was like a funny moment. It's like in the middle of the movie, somebody like way in the back was sleeping. They was snoring real loud. Everybody heard them. Everybody was just straight up loud.
You fall asleep in that. I mean, that thing was like action packed from start to end.
Exactly. It's like, bro, you must have came to the wrong show. It's like you should have saw it earlier. You could fall asleep.
Or just went home and took you a nap and then came back.
Exactly. Wow. But overall, yeah, I mean, just love the story from beginning to end. Yeah, I enjoyed Black Panther over the years, like, T'Challa doing this thing. And, ever since he debuted in Fantastic Four, issue 52 back in 66. And it was kind of wondering, it's like, oh, is Black Panther part of that? Black Panther part is no. Actually, the first black superhero debuted like months before the movement.
Right.
And so, I mean, there's like two different things. And like, I mean, there's like a time where Black Panther, he went under Black Leopard trying to avoid all that. But, they ended up, taking Panther back. So, I mean, heck, it's fitting of them.
Exactly. And, you don't see too many, African-American or African, esque superhero characters. So that's another thing that got me, really excited about it. And like I told you, when I took to see my goddaughter, just to see, how the movie was made, the technology of the whole thing. Her favorite character was Shuri, and I ended up getting her own Shuri t-shirt because she just really identified with that. And I said, I wouldn't be surprised if she become a little tech geek herself. You know, she still got some years on her, but
exactly,
just wow, you know, but it just had a positive impact on her, and that's one thing that I'm glad that I got a chance to, you know, introduce her to. And like I said, it was just very entertaining. It was very thought provoking. You know, the characters had depth. You know, you can try to understand each and every one of the complex relationships. I think it was phenomenal, very well written. The action sequence. Oh, like I said, I love the action sequence when they was in Korea trying to get Claw. That was like one of my favorite action sequence in the movie. Well, speaking of characters, what was your favorite character?
All right, aside from T'Challa, so basically, you know, he's doing his own thing. Yeah, basically I love Shuri. It's like, I mean, sometimes she just, you know, she's a smart ass, but you know, but with the way her tech, I mean, she could rob a Tony, give him a run for his money. I mean, like I said, I mean, T'Challa, he's smart in his own right, but basically with Shuri, the way she comes up with his tech and things like that, and of course she like comes up with the smart ass comments, like, you know,
what
like
are those? You know, with the sandals, yeah.
It's like, or it's like, oh, it's like, yeah, you know what I call them? Sneakers.
Yep.
I was just cracking up. Yeah, she was definitely one of my favorite. Of course, I have to give it a Okoye. I mean, just the way she holds down the army. Of course,
ooh, yes.
Yeah, and of course, you know, she's kind of xenophobic because, you know, she's not, you know, particularly, you know, kind of outsiders and stuff like that. It's like, especially when she did like Freeman and stuff. It's like, Americans.
Right. Stuff like that. No, I like her little smart ass comment when she says, when the guy kept touching her and he kept touching T'Challa, and he said, if he touch you one more time, I'm gonna peel him on his desk. He was like, do she speak English when she wants to? I was like, I love her, real badass. I like Okoye.
I mean, yeah, it's like of course the way she kicks ass, like fighting. I was like, yeah.
I mean, no, I remember I was sitting next to one of Jonathan's friends, and we just kept remarking upon how the heck she sit up here, continue to be a badass in these fighting scenes in probably a $20,000 couture gown. All she did was throw off that wig and just went to work. Yes. I was just like, heck yeah, that's what I absolutely love. I said she sat up here and kicked everybody that was doing kick-ass stuff and still look fabulous at the same time. But you know, that's just the female inside of me.
And it was also cool, like of course, Nakia, she was doing her thing herself, but unlike Okoye, she had to take her shoes off just to, you know, get in the fighting mode. It's just like you know, kicking ass down below, and of course T'Challa doing his thing. But I mean, it's just the time he got outside and he's like do those things on the car so Shuri can take control of it. And that was some cutting edge technology. I was like, man,
very much. Yeah,
I mean, you can control a car like it's VR. I mean, she just got control, and she's just like, it's like, which side of the road? It's like, this drive.
And also how she got in the end when they was doing the war in Wakanda, you know, she was just, I mean, she was in the fighting mode, but at the same time telling dude how to control the plane, you know.
Right. Oh, Freeman, yep.
Right, so he could shoot down the people so they could take the vibranium. Is it vibranium?
Yeah, vibranium. Yep.
Yeah. So they wouldn't get it out the borders of Wakanda. So, you know, I was like, oh my goodness. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people, probably especially young girls, be like, you know what? I might want to get in the tech field, see what that's all about, you know.
Exactly. It's like, also, you got to take into account, like, from the beginning of the movie when it was, like, back in the past, like, you know, you can say it's probably, like, the 80s and stuff like that, you know, 80s or 90s. Yeah, of course, like, T'Challa, like his brother, you know, he messed up with his brother, you know, him and Zuri, you know, it's like they're like going around selling like vibranium weapons and stuff like that. So basically, that's when his brother had to stop him there. It's like, yeah, at first time I'm happy to see you, but at the same time, I have to stop you. It's like, you know, I have to arrest you for crimes and stuff, like selling our tech to the outside world. So that doesn't fly. Of course, T'Challa is all about tradition and, you know,
right. So, you know, that's another that's another thought-provoking piece in that movie is that, you have T'Chaka, the king of Wakanda at the time. He wanted to keep everything, would protect his own people, but yet he had the technology and the means to try to help other people in the world. So where do you find that fine line? I can understand T'Chaka's point,
right,
and try to check his people, but at the same time you have something that can benefit the folks who are outside of Wakanda that looks just like you. So where is that defining line in which you hold it for yourself or share it with the world?
I know it's like that xenophobic nature. It's like not kind of strangers. It's like I said, they're trying to protect their home turf, like their own resources, like that Afrofuturism, things like that.
Right.
That's one thing, like the Jabari tribe, like which is like M'Baku's tribe, aka Man Ape in the comics, because they're not into like all the futurism and stuff like that. They're like old school, most likely. That's why they reside in the mountains and things like that.
Yeah, I liked M'Baku's character too. He was pretty hilarious,
Right.
I liked his character. But getting back to the point that I was just trying to make, because I kind of left the movie a little conflicted in some areas, trying to expose Wakanda to the world. And, you look at it from the surface, you thinking, okay, this is, villages and huts and grasslands and, and everything. But then when you go deeper into it, you see the marvelous technology. You're just like, wow, this is like, year 3000 here, how advanced that is. And they would, and to the world they still look like a third world country, but that's not even the case when you look behind the closed doors. But I said I can understand wanting to protect that, but at the same time, when do you expose yourself or introduce what you have that can benefit to the world, because I can also see it falling into the wrong hands.
Right.
Stuff like that. Well, AKA
that's what T'Chaka was all about. He didn't want that stuff fall into the wrong hands. That's why he had to stop his brother. Things like that. And then of course, also like note, like then since the beginning of the movie started in Oakland, so well, I can see that because like the director Ryan Coogler, that's his hometown.
Right.
Basically, he had to give shout out to his hometown in there, and of course, he's always had like some of his main stars, like in his other movies, like Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger, with one of his main collaborators. So. And yeah, of course, you see Killmonger. It's like you may see him always just you may think he's just a thug working with somebody, but as you see you see that there's more behind him than what you think.
Right.
And him teaming with Claw and things like that, and then
you might not agree with Killmonger's philosophy and the way he did things, but you can understand where he's coming from. And I noticed that a lot of movies nowadays are kind of taking you to the backstory of the villain and understand where they're coming from. And I had made a point about that, like that movie Maleficent with Angelina Jolie.
Right.
So, all the times we watched this movie, or saw the versions of Sleeping Beauty, we're here to praise, Sleeping Beauty and her family, but then you were supposed to be against Maleficent, but they told in her story that, the king did her wrong. Right, so you can understand the reason why, she was the way she was. And then, and it showed that she had a heart too. So I just noticed that a lot of movies are doing that now, just making it say, oh, wait a minute. Okay. Because, get into Killmonger's story. I mean, just imagine you're a boy. He was 7, 8 years old when his father was killed. Yeah. You go, you're playing basketball with your boys. You come upstairs and there's your father dead with some claw wounds in his chest.
Right.
And you're left an orphan. Nobody here to fend for you or what have you. So yeah, how would that play into your mind as a child and how you grew up?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's like you lost your dad. Of course, didn't mention much about his mother, but you can say his mom passed away. So basically, yeah, I mean, it was traumatic for him, losing both your parents, and you find out like the people who done it is like your own family, but
yeah.
And of course, I mean, Killmonger, he's no idiot. I mean, he's smart.
No, he's not.
I mean, heck, I mean, of course, this movie version, Michael B. Jordan, is like he's got military, experience. He's got martial arts experience, history. So basically, he knew what to hit and where to hit.
Right.
Like the scene he went to the museum and he saw the artifact and said, he said, I think the lady said it was like from Kansas. Said, nope, it's from Wakanda.
Yeah. You're like, you don't even know where this is. And he said, let me school you a little bit and then kill you at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it goes to show you can understand where he was coming from, but at the same time, once he achieved his end goal, he became drunk with the power.
Yeah. Hey, Auntie.
Yeah. Hey, Auntie. Yeah. That was another part that I kind of laughed at as well. Like, who is this fool? Okay. No, I'm your nephew. But, yeah. and with that, and I think, T'Challa, he did underestimate him when they went to go fight for the right to be king.
Right.
You just end up when he throws him off the cliff, and you're just like, oh my God, no.
That was a big L that he took.
Yeah. Because even my goddaughter, when she sitting beside me, she's like, no. I'm like, just calm down.
Okay.
She was getting emotionally invested in the movie. I just had to duck my head to keep from laughing. She's looking at me like, why are you laughing? He killed him. I'm just like, just keep watching.
Right.
It's gonna be
exactly. It's like one thing from Claw, like for those who've seen Age of Ultron, that was his first appearance. Of course, he had both his arms, and of course, he lost one of his arms in that movie. And then, of course, you see him in Black Panther, with a vibranium weapon.
right.
The way he shot it off, and especially like during the escape through South Korea, and with the way he blasted the car, especially like the vehicle that Okoye and Nakia were driving.
Right.
And the way he blasted that car, just that funny moment, Okoye, she had those magnet boots. It's just like, just flipped on, landed on the car hood, using it as a surfboard. And then, of course, here comes the kid sliding down in the driver's seat. She was still in the driver's seat. I was like, oh my, I was rolling. And of course, the other funny moment is like when the T'Challa and Wakanda, is like they were discussing, it's like, they want to get Claw, and it's like, don't worry, I'm about to go get him, blah, blah, blah. And then they had a, communication from Okoye, and, the way she responded is just like, my king. And then she was like, Wakanda, it's like, my love, and, their little history.
Right.
But because, Wakanda, it's like, it's like, in his mind, T'Challa had failed him because there's this outsider, he brings the body of Claw to him. It's like,
right.
I say, I got to give for you. It's like, I was like, dang. Then he started getting, like I said, he started rolling with Killmonger. It's like,
because he's the one that got Claw, so he already hyped up about, this man killed my parents, and you didn't get him, and this guy got him. Yep. And so, of course, that kind of swayed him because he was still had that revenge on his heart. Yep. And that's what I think in the movie is that sometimes you got to think past your emotions.
Yep.
If you really don't think past your emotion, you can make wrong choices, every time. But it's so hard to do. It's easier said than done.
Yep.
Because, thinking about it, all of his policy. Because if he really sat down and think about it, he can probably look back at Eric Killmonger and be like, you know what, bro? I mean, yeah, you brought Claw back, but I'm not feeling you on some of your policies, But, like I said, he was just still caught up in that deep emotion of like losing your parents like that, just like Killmonger was.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like, ever since he took over, it's like, of course, with Okoye, she felt conflicted. It's like, like, especially with her and the kid at that discussion, it's like, my heart is with you, but my loyalty is to the throne. It's like, no matter who sits up on it.
Well, come on now. She was almost going to kill her husband, remember? When the battle, when the Rhino, that's another famous scene where the Rhino kept charging him and the Rhino stops in the middle and licks her face.
Yep.
And then he said, would you have killed me for that? He said, for Wakanda? Without question.
Yep.
And she said it without flinching either.
Yeah, he just got down on his knees. Like, okay, I surrender, I yield.
Oh man, but that movie, oh my goodness. I mean, the character.
Yeah, you got to think about what Killmonger is like. You know, with him in power, is like the herb. He said, "Burn it all, destroy it," and so make sure that nobody else gets it.
Right. He just want to be the supreme person in charge. I was just like, so he wasn't thinking about future generations. You know, that's what I'm saying. Getting caught up in that emotion that, you know, dude, come on now. You know, it's not like you're gonna last forever. Who else is gonna take it over? You know, you're not really thinking. You're just drunk on power and revenge.
Yeah, like HNIC.
I was gonna say that. But you took the words right out of my mouth. Exactly. Then, so what would happen to Wakanda afterwards?
Yeah, and then of course, get with Nakia, because with her character is like, she was with the Dora Milaje for a while, then she she started went off on her own because she went to the outside world and she witnessed like the horrors that's going on, like women and children being taken, and being enslaved, and
right.
Like she was going undercover trying to free them, and that's when, of course, the beginning where T'Challa showed up. Trying to.
Don't you freeze when you see her? Don't freeze.
I never freeze, and then look what happens. Like as soon as he saw her, it's like, hey, Nakia.
Didn't he froze? Yes, he froze.
Yeah, it's like an antelope in headlights.
Yeah. But, if you really think about it, Nakia was kind of agreeing with Killmonger's philosophies as well. Looking like, we have the means and the ways to help our people on the outside of Wakanda. Why aren't we doing that?
Right. I mean, yeah, because, you got to think about it. T'Challa all his life, he was following the teachings of his past generation. But up until that moment, he realized, he found out the truth what went on, and, the sins of what his father done. Is like, I was like, what have you done? It's like, you killed my uncle and you left my cousin behind. It's like, right. Yeah, then he see the way he is. It's like, I was like, how can this happen? And it's like, he's like, what, I'm not doing this anymore, just like, yeah, he kind of opened his eyes about, open his borders, like to help others, like, because they got the means of, just to help people, like what the way medicines are is like, especially when he helped up with Agent Freeman when he got shot. He shielded Nakia from being killed and things like that. And of course that moment, when they took her to Shuri, to almost like the infirmary and stuff like that, and she, and she was being a smart as usual. It was like that's how I was like, oh, another white boy to fix. Like,
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, because like people wonder, it's like, okay. If he's the second, it was like, who was the first? Of course, that's much later on, but
right.
The first one was, but yeah, like the way she, the way her tech and her smarts is like, yeah, they have the means like to help people, like those with paralysis. I mean, I'll give you an example, like what happened with Rhodey in Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
After Vision shot him out of the sky by accident.
Right.
He ended up being paralyzed. Hey, they have the tech just to help him walk again.
Yeah, because when the agent, when he got up, he said, well, how long I been there? Because he's like, no, I got shot in the spine. I should be walking. And he's just like in awe.
Yeah.
And she's just like, and sure, just like, oh, please, this is just in a day's work, whatever.
Yeah. It's nothing new to her.
Right. It was just like, it's just in a day's work. Just be happy that you got this. And thing with Killmonger that got me at the end, when, he was finally defeated.
Right.
And the fact that, he rejected it himself. The very thing that he tried to introduce to the world, he rejected it for himself.
Right.
Because, and I get it. He said he didn't want to sit up here and live a life being enslaved or being imprisoned, So he just like, I'd rather die and be free. And then sit up here and
drown me with my ancestors in the ocean.
Yeah, I thought that was deep. I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, because they knew that death was better than bondage.
Yep. Pretty much like yeah, because I like his version of the comics, and of course his on screen is that has little from the source material, but in the comics, like Killmonger, he did whip him a Black Panther a few times, so he's got a few wins over T'Challa. So.
Right.
Well, yeah, but in his comic version, his rogue gallery is not that big because basically he had Claw, he had Man-Ape, and he had Killmonger, just the few. And of course, in her comic version, Nakia goes by the name Mao, so Yeah, because her on screen is way different from her counterpart. Because the comic version, she turned to villainy because she was in love with T'Challa. She wanted to get with him, and of course he rejected her advances. Because look, you're part of the Dora Milaje, blah blah blah, and then she just got spurned. So pretty much she turned to the dark side. She just ended up being his enemy. But I understand like her movie counterpart, being on there because since MCU don't have rights to the X-Men yet, so basically they had to use her in place of Storm and things like that. So, they had to throw that
wondering about that. Yeah, okay. Because I was saying for all this, I know that it was him and Storm, so I was just like, why did they? So you just clarified that for me.
Oh yeah, because I mean, yeah, they did right with the source material, but they want to throw their own spin on it because because everybody, you don't want to have it like by point because many fans would know this is going to happen or that's going to happen. So you know what?
Especially if you were big in the comic books, you'd be like, that's not what happened in the comic book. Because I know I wasn't I didn't get really into the comic books, but I just remember talking to other folks and some that I read myself. I'm like, I don't remember that happening in the comic books. Okay, they changed that story or they changed that character. So yeah. I know when you got to do movies, you got to make sure you obtain certain rights and so you might have to change the story or modify it just a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, if you got them die-hard fans, they know better.
Exactly. It's like, oh yeah, because like certain changes, like, so wait a minute. It's like, so wait a minute, this character wasn't, like in the comments, like, oh, this character may be white, but on screen, maybe a different race and stuff like that. And of course, that's when fanboys, go crazy. It's like, no, that's not right. Blah blah blah. Like,
oh yeah, you know those types. They'll be at Comic Cons or wherever, and then they'll be right there asking that person who's the actor all these characters. Tell in episode X56, and when this, and you be like, I'm just an actor, okay?
Right.
I just got paid to do the character. I researched it, did the character, boom. Okay, you're gonna have to ask the writers and developers all that question.
Yeah. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the company behind it. So
yeah, you gotta love the fan people, the fanboys. Gotta love them. I'm just like, okay. I mean, they take it seriously, like it's a matter of life and death if you don't get it right.
Yeah, but it's like you got to think about it. It's like you got a movie that majority of a black cast. I mean, people predicting, I guess some people like it was like, oh, it's just another black movie's gonna fail, blah blah blah.
Prove them wrong, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I can just imagine, the Christmas holidays come up, how many of the Black Panther, merchandise. I know they probably selling like heck of a lot of tickets. Matter of fact, see the necklace I have on?
Yep.
Yeah, Wakanda forever,
Yep.
So. I can just, oh my goodness, this thing is pretty phenomenal. So I got a question for you. In that movie, what character did you most identify yourself with?
Well, that's a good one. I would have to probably say T'Challa himself.
Okay. What was about T'Challa that you can that you identify with?
I mean, yeah, because in myself, I see like you trying to do the right thing. You got a big heart. You want to do right with the people. Then you got drawn on a conflict. It's like he's conflicted with all these different morals and things like that. It's like you do try to do right for your people, but yet you find like somebody else did something bad in the past and you kind of conflicting, you want to do right and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, it makes you like have a different outlook on life. Like, trying to see things from the other side, like trying to get, both viewpoints and stuff, things like that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about you?
I would say I can identify with, various characters, but if I had to choose one, I would say is definitely Shuri. Because, I'm a little tech geek like she is. I can be a little smart ass myself at times, And also, I know she had a deep love for her people. She had a deep love for her brother. That was, very obvious, in the movie. And also, she had a loyalty, which I can definitely, identify with. Is like, you got the smarts, you got the that warrior spirit, a little bit from Okoye, a little bit from Nakia, but that's the one that I could definitely identify with, was the character Shuri.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, and of course with I have to say, giving it to Angela Bassett as Ramonda, like, being the queen mother.
Yes.
I mean, of course, she's like almost everybody's movie mom. So,
pretty much. All she did was just play another movie mom, but she was excellent in that movie. Very excellent. I thought they picked how some roles are just made for certain people.
Right.
Just like if you look at Patrick Stewart, you said, okay, yes, he is Professor Xavier, hands down, you got that right. Boom. Right. Or I would have never thought this particular actor will play in a movie like X-Men, but when they cast Kelsey Grammer as Beast,
yes,
I was like, I would have thought that, but I said that's perfect.
Yeah, he pulled it off.
Very much so. He was. I said throw some fur on him because he had the body type. Because Kelsey Grammer was 6'5", something like that.
Right.
And throw some blue fur on him and everything, and he can play the smart and intelligence like Beast can. And then there you go. There's Beast. I was like, perfect casting. So I kind of felt like the one to play Ramonda. I thought that she was a perfect pick for that.
I mean, yeah, just like with Denai Guerrilla, like. Okoye, she was fighting with weapons. Of course, you know her from Walking Dead. She's going from fighting zombies like to fighting bad guys and things like that. It's like you traded in the sword for a spear, and things like that.
Hey, sword, spear, guess what? It does the same job.
Yeah, it's not nailed down, so it's gonna take out bad guys. But yeah,
yeah, I wonder how many women gonna go out and shave their head and say they're part of the Dora Milaje.
You never know. They'll probably do it for cosplay. They can pull it off.
No, I'm too vain for that. I'm not doing it. Just give me a ball cap if I'm gonna do all that. But nah, it's okay. But
yeah, because I took my girl to go see it like that Saturday. Mm-hmm. She fell in love with it. So basically, I had to educate her like on certain things, like especially the MCU, because I gave her like the challenge, like, okay, I gave her like both the Avengers movies, Captain America: Civil War, just to get an idea, because that's when you first see Black Panther, and you kind of like I tell you, like with Marvel movies, you got to stay till the end because certain scenes will lead to other movies.
Exactly.
And of course, she identifies most with Nakia because I mean she loves her character. It's just fighting spirit, independent, things like speaks to her mind, things like that.
And also, not afraid to be off on her own, doing her own thing. She don't have to be part of the crowd. She dances to the beat of her own drummer. So yeah, that's one of the things I liked about the character to Nakia as well.
Yeah, and of course, like at the beginning, when T'Challa came home with Nakia and Okoye and stuff like that, and then of course, smart ass Shuri, she gave him the finger, and Mom knew it was like, Shuri?
Is that Shuri?
Like,
sorry.
It's like, sorry, mother.
The brat, the bratty little sister, but thank God, I know he's grateful for that bratty little sister.
Right. I mean, it wasn't for her. I mean, it's like,
sorry, mother.
No, what was the one where she had him? She was recording and she had him punch out the suit, and then carried him all across the room, and he was like, "Delete that footage."
Yeah, like recording for research.
Yeah.
Before we go on, I just want to say a shout out to Lady Firefox. Happy that you joined the chat and joined this discussion.
Hello.
And then, okay. Other than that, now we could lead on to Infinity War, the other massive $1 million hit.
Woo! And I just saw that Sunday.
Yeah, I saw that that Saturday. It was epic from beginning to end. I was like, oh my goodness, you're bringing all the movies together. I mean, ever since you see like the end credits from the first Avengers movie, you see Thanos just chilling in the background. You just turn around and he has that evil grin. He just that sinister grin.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
I gotta do some more research on his character because I know from the comic book I saw an article. They said 10 characters that have defeated Thanos.
Right.
And the top one was obviously Thor. So I was hoping Thor would have took care of him, but you know what? Definitely, what happened in there. But I liked how that they set up that movie because they threw all these characters in your face, but it was still easy to follow. You still got, until they all got together in where? Wakanda.
I know, exactly. It's like, of course, at the end of Age of Ultron, and you see Thanos like walking in the background. It's like he's walking. It's like, man, he's like, if you want something done right, he just like, got to do it yourself. Just walks in, just puts on the gauntlet, and just walks off.
So let me ask you, why do you think the final battle had to be in Wakanda?
Wow. I mean, yeah, it was just an epic battle. It's like you see, like all these forces all in one place. Well, majority of one, because there was like a certain stone that he had to get. So basically, they just went to Wakanda. It's like, well, there's a lot of tech down there, so that protect that home turf,
right?
And of course, with Vision had that the Mind Stone in his head, and of course, Shuri's trying to get it off of him, so so that they can destroy it. So
but unfortunately, Thanos had the reality or the time stone. So he was able, as you can see, he was able to bring him back just to turn around and kill him again to get the stone.
I just want to get your viewpoint about Gamora and Thanos, about their relationship.
That one was a very complex, situation. I mean, I can. He was the one that actually kind of saved her and took her in after, you destroyed my people.
Right.
Why did he choose this particular one to raise and to, take care of? So, there was some love, hate, and he knew that. He knew her feelings towards him, and that was the biggest time when he had to show emotion is when he had to kill her to get the stuff, the soul stone.
Right.
Because remember, he was like, she would think, oh, you crying for yourself, and the skull was like, no, those tears ain't for you, for him, they for you. And then and that's when she realized what he had to do. And it kind of reminded me of a friend of mine. They talked about their relationship with their step parents. It wasn't all that great, but the parent was still there, taking care of them and everything. And deep down, that the parent had love for them, but it still was just that bone of contention. And that's what I got from, their relationship. But of course, I was upset when he threw her off the cliff. I'm like, oh, you son of a, But it's just one of those things, one of those hard things he had to probably do to try to achieve his end goal. Then the love for somebody else, overshadowed what he thought he had to do. So it's just like, wow.
Yeah, and, before I get my view, it's like, Lady Fox, she kind of with a good point. It's like, Wakanda had the tech and the protection. So that's why the battleground took there.
True.
And plus, well, I have to go with the beginning, with the spaceship, because have you seen Thor Ragnarok?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course, like the end credit, the mid credit scene, they have their ship running the Thanos' ship, and of course that scene right to the beginning of Infinity War, and like there was like this, it was just like a massacre, like most of the Asgardians were killed except for Thor, Loki, and Heimdall.
Right. I had to go back and look at some of those again to try to, because I know I would probably miss some bits and parts of it.
Right.
To go see Infinity War, so I had to revisit a lot of those movies again to try to get a full understanding.
Yeah, because with that scene, and of course, when Loki pulled him, when he said to Thanos, like, it's like, we have a Hulk. A Hulk, I mean, he got a few licks in on Thanos, but the thing is, Thanos just turned it around, and he just like, he punked him. He pretty much owned him.
Was like, I am not coming out.
I was like, he owned it like a $5 hooker. I was like, dang. I mean, just the way he took him out, and And of course, Honda, he used up the last of his power to send the Hulk away, like to Earth, and, you know, just to warn the Avengers about what the incoming doom. Because,
right.
I mean, you never seen Loki just get owned like that. I mean,
no, I was just sitting up here like in the movie, like, did that just happen? Did that just happen? But, whew.
I mean, just the way Thanos, I mean, he don't care who he slaughters just to meet his end goal. He was going to get his hands on them stones no matter what.
Well, that's what dictators do. They don't care. They'll go across their own mother. You know, shout out to all the mothers on Mother's Day coming out. But yeah, those they would do that.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course, you know, with the scene when the Hulk crashes through Doctor Strange's house, but of course, in the source material that was Silver Surfer. So basically, you know, they didn't have rights to the FF universe yet. So basically, the Hulk had to take his place.
Right.
Because I have the Infinity the Infinity Gauntlet comic.
Oh, okay.
So basically, yeah, it was massive. So I gave props to, you know, like, you know, digging around and getting the research, like, for certain sources. And of course, they had to change some things around because, you know, certain things that, you know, they can't put in there because, like I said, due to rights. But however, and then of course, the interaction with Tony and, you know, Pepper, and like, oh yeah, we're about to get married and blah, blah. And then you see Spider-Man on the bus. And of course, you know, seeing Stan Lee driving. And then, of course, you know, Parker, you know, his hair stands up and he sees danger. And
yeah, he knows what was up. Yeah,
you see the Black Order show up and out of nowhere. And, you know, it's like, he tells his best friend, hey, cause a distraction so he can slip out into a Spidey costume. And then, you know, everybody meets up and then, you know, they're trying to hold off. Then, you know, then you see Tony in action. Of course, Spider-Man, you know, trying to climb up on that ship. And of course, Spider-Man, he's running low on oxygen.
And then he gets the metal, yeah, his new
Spider-Man armor. That's like, yeah. Oh my goodness, that armor is so cool because you saw it in Spider-Man Homecoming, but he chose not to don it yet. So, you know, it's like,
but he needed it then. That's when he needed that suit, is right at that moment. So
him and Tony like had to go save Doctor Strange from Ebony Maw, because I was like, I mean, Ebony Maw, he reminds you of somebody. It's like, you know, just like cold, calculating, just like, you know, he likes to mess with your mind and things like that. So.
And that's how, you know, that's how when they mess with your mind and your emotions. I know we mentioned that earlier when we were talking about Black Panther. You know, they almost had Thanos. They almost had him until dude, you know, got in his emotions when realized when Gamora was dead. And I'm like, they almost had the glove off. And they just like, dude, just calm. I was like, dude, just calm down. Calm down. Once they get the glove off of him, then you can just go wail on his ass. But no, I was just like, no. He's gonna mess it up. And lo and behold, you see what happened.
Yeah, but then of course, the interaction with Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy, he wakes up, is like, who the hell are you guys? And they all look at him, I was like,
the little rabbit.
Yeah, Rocket. I was like, it's hilarious.
Yes.
Just a smart ass, and then yeah, when Star-Lord, and, you know, they went to that the Titan, on Titan, you know, where Thanos came from, and that's when he went and it's like, hey, I wiped out half the universe. He said half the universe,
right?
Just for survival, because like it was getting too overpopulated and blah blah blah, and it just like snap of his finger. I mean,
and that's what ended up happening. We got the last stone, snap of the finger, and then, you know, of course, he was gone, and then everybody started, you know, disintegrating. And it made me think about, I said, I took it into a biblical sense. I said, okay, you know, this is kind of like rapture-esque, you know, for me, you know, being caught up in a rapture, you know, the folks being left behind to deal with the garbage while the others, you know, are being taken up. I thought about, you know, that type of situation. Then I thought about, okay, so why were the ones that was disintegrated? Why were they the ones that left, and the other ones are, you know, left behind? Because, you know, something's going to have to happen, because I know that they're supposed to be coming out with a Black Panther 2, and you know, T'Challa was disintegrated. So what's going to be the story? You know, the story of the premises behind that. So. Just left me with a lot, you know, with a lot of questions.
I know, exactly. And then, of course, with Thor, you know, he didn't have no weapon. I mean, since Mjolnir got destroyed in Ragnarok, so basically he had to go to the dwarf that created his weapon in the first place. But he also created Thanos' weapon, and actually the dwarf, he kind of regretted making that weapon. So basically, yeah, he helped out Thor a bit. So
right,
and here comes Stormbreaker. It's like then of course the metal was too hot, so basically Groot, give props to Groot. He made a handle, used part of his body just to make it a handle. And
right,
Stormbreaker came to his hand, and of course by that he got his weapon, he got his power back. Then he joined the cause down in Wakanda. Everybody looked at Thor. It's like, nice haircut. And of course, seeing Banner and the Hulkbuster armor is like he's still trying to get him to combat, and Hulk said no.
And also, I liked M'Baku. Him and T'Challa. He was like, thank you for joining us, and he said, anytime, my brothers. Showing that
right that
brotherhood, because in the last one, he was the one that was instrumental in saving T'Challa's life.
Right.
And I kind of see with M'Baku, because he kind of knew his place a little bit, because he could have easily took that purple heart and
herb-shaped herb, yeah.
Yes, he could have easily had took it, but he just like nah, your boy, he is on ice, that's who you need to give it to. And because he was grateful for T'Challa for sparing his life when they was battling for the thrones.
Right.
So you could see that bond between those two, right there. Say, hey, I'm with you to the end. Did I don't remember, was M'Baku did he disintegrate?
No.
Okay. All right.
No, only T'Challa, him, Groot,
right,
or Drax, Spider-Man. Of course, getting the Spider-Man is like just. The chemistry between him and Tony is like it's like mentor and mentee and stuff like that, and he's just like, "Oh, Mr. Stark," He's like, "I don't want to die," and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, you mean when Spider-Man? When oh my gosh,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I usually don't. Well, I take that back. Yes, I am. But not with these kind of movies. But I actually did get choked up when I saw when he was just like, he didn't want to go, and the emotion of it. I was just like, oh my god. I was like, please don't cry in this movie. Please don't cry in this movie, because I ain't trying to do that. But yeah, that I told you that. What was the actor's name who played Spider-Man? I can't.
Tom Holland.
Yes, he played the heck out of that. He stole that scene for me.
I mean, heck, you got mostly a British cast in that movie anyway. It's him, Idris Elba,
yes.
Tom Hiddleston, Loki. It's like, they pulled it off. And then, of course, Chris Hemsworth, Thor, being the only Australian.
But you made an awesome point, because I know that I told you that I saw it like, I think a day or so after I seen it. You made an interesting point about Shuri.
Yep.
When she was trying to pull the stone, out of his head. And you made a good point. I just want you to throw that out there again.
Oh yeah, when Shuri was like trying to dissect the stone from him, they made a little backup plan in case something would happen, in case she was unable to get that stone off of him. So she made a backup plan, like a Vision's consciousness. And so then that's when the Black Order showed up, and it's like Vision had no choice but break himself free, and so not to get captured.
So do you think through her backup, that's something that she could do to revive everybody?
Yeah, possibly.
Taking all those parts, because he had every stone except for the Vision stone,
Yeah, the Mind Stone.
The Mind Stone. He had all of those stones except for that. So, yeah, because I don't put it past Shuri's intelligence,
Yeah.
So,
like I said, she give Tony a run for his money.
Right. So it's just something she was doing there. And when you made that point, it made me say, oh no, he might got a point there. So something she might have done that will, help revive the others and bring them back. Right.
And of course, like something I want to throw out there is like, but of course, like in the middle of the movie, like when the Black Order showed up to get going after Vision and Wanda, and then of course there's Steve in the background, like a full bearded Captain America just out of nowhere. It's like, yeah. He's without his iconic shield, and of course, you see Black Widow with blonde hair, but Still, they showed up at the right moment just to save him.
Right.
And of course, like to be hunted down, it's like, I know a place we can go. I mean, and of course, when Rhodey was talking with Sinister Ross and things about that, because like, yeah, because Rhodey, yeah, he signed up on the Sokovia incident, that little act and things like that, and from the last one, so yeah, you kind of regret signing it, and you know, like seeing the aftermath of what happened, and you know, kind of, you know, split everybody up, and it's like, well, there is no Avengers. It's like everybody split up because the Sokovia incident,
right?
Things like that, and of course, you know, like from the teaser trailer, like, you know, everybody was like gathered around, showing up, running into battle, and things like that. And of course, in the teaser, it had like the Hulk running in the background. It's like,
yes, and he didn't want to come out.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, well, his name Tease and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's like you see him, you know, running the trailer, but yet, you know, in the movie, you don't see the Hulk at all in Wakanda.
Not at all. But I mean, I know other than, you know, probably getting a little bit owned, but what was his hesitation of not wanting to come out?
Right.
That's what I'm
like. Thanos really got in his head. I mean, he really messed his head up. It's like, oh my goodness, like, you know, it's just that fear. But of course, the other interesting though about the Red Skull.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that shocked me. It was like, I was like, what?
No, because remember that's where he got banished.
Yeah, because like from the first Avengers, and you know, right. When he held the Tesseract for so long, it's like instead of being destroyed, he got teleported to another world.
Right.
That the Soul Stone is like, yeah, he's been guarding the Soul Stone. It's like, yeah, he's like a soothsayer, like, you know, kind of like Death, you know, wearing that robe and everything. It's like, because you know, everybody, you know, wants to get that stone. It's like, I guess many people have failed. It's like they realize, hey, there's a cost to come getting, you know, when it comes to power, things like that. So.
Sacrifice something that you love.
Yep.
You know, because if he, you know, and that's the thing. If Thanos didn't love Gamora, you know, he wouldn't have got the stone. So that's when you were like, whoa, okay. You know, the love that he had love for her, but to achieve his end goal, you know, was higher than the love that, you know, he felt for, you know, his stepdaughter.
Yep. Yeah, and of course, you know, we had that reality stone when the way he did the Drax and Drax and Mantis.
No, I'm kind of was looking at the chat, and Lady Foxfire said the boy spooked that boy spooked the Hulk.
Yeah, right. I agree with you.
He did spook the hell out of him.
I mean, the Hulk was just like, you know, he was just a child, like in fear and stuff like that, like afraid of the monster.
And you know, that's the last person I would think that would get spooked like that is the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, yeah, it's like that's probably for the fight scene, like, oh. You gotta give like the, you know, when Bucky showed up, like, you know, at the end of Black Panther, when, you know,
right.
Bucky emerged from the hut, and it's like, you know, the kids call him like the White Wolf.
White Wolf. Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, there, you know, of course, we know Bucky was, you know, he was in cryostasis on Wakanda from Civil War.
Right.
So basically, during that time, he woke up, and, you know, Shuri was helping, you know, get rid of his program from Hydra and stuff like that. So yeah, like many people can question. So, well, he's not the Winter Soldier, so basically, he's gonna be called the White Wolf. And then, of course, in this movie, you see him team up with Steve again. It's like, you know, I'm glad to have you back. And of course, and sure enough, he was the first one to be disintegrated.
Yeah. I was just like, dang it.
I mean, what about that one fight with Proxima Midnight? You know, she was fighting Okoye and Black Widow. And like both.
Oh, when they was in the ditch,
yep.
Like in the ditch scene. Yes. I remember that. Yeah, that was an epic battle. I said, uh-oh. I was like, I think this girl, she's about to be done for. Yep.
Yeah, then of course, you know, the Hulk is in there trying to control the Hulkbuster armor. He was in
the armor, the robot armor. He was like, come on out. And he was like, no. And then
so basically, so he held his own against Obsidian, aka Black Dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
I said that would have been the moment he'll show up and things like that.
That's what I was hoping for. I said, okay, maybe he'll get over himself and then but maybe they'll explore that. Why was he so hesitant to, you know, to come out? You know, is there some kind of connection between him and Thanos? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, and of course, like when Thor, we showed up with Stormbringer, and then of course you see Rocket and Groot helping, fighting off all those monsters. Like it's like everyone's looking, it's like, oh, these guys, like, oh, they're my friends.
Yes, right.
And then of course with when he got up close with Thanos, he got him in the chest with Stormbreaker. It's like, then he gave him, it's like, anybody tell you to go for the head? I was like, yeah. It's like, I was like, uh-oh.
You're not thinking when you're in the heat of battle. When you're in the heat of battle, sometimes logic just,
it's out the window. Logic
goes out the door because you're basically running on adrenaline.
Right. And of course, like towards the end, like Thanos, he was on another world. He was just sitting down chilling, man, just smiling, looking out on the horizon, and it's like, of course.
And then remember when he confronted the Gamora as a little girl?
Yeah.
And then he was saying, was it all worth it?
Yep.
Will it be all worth it?
Yeah.
That's the question. Was this you went and do all this? I mean, why did you have to go and destroy all of mankind? Was this all worth it?
Right. Let's see, in the comic book, in Infinity Gauntlet, he was doing all that just to please Mistress Death. And it was like it was a woman, Death, but in form of a woman because he was in love with her.
Mm-hmm.
Also in the comics, Lady Death, Mistress Death, is also in love with Deadpool. And so just to throw that out there, but
that was another character because I told you earlier in the podcast that they had an article I was reading. They said the 10 characters that defeated Thanos, and Deadpool was one of them.
Oh yeah, the Watch Mojo. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. No, it wasn't a video. It was a
list
that just comes up in my Google feeds, on my phone. Okay. Comes in through like that, and I just said, let me look at that. And like I told you, Thor was number 1, but Deadpool was in that one as well.
Yeah, because in the comics, Thanos he made Deadpool immortal, so that way he would never die and be in love with death.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know.
But then of course the regular ending to the Infinity War, when Thanos was, like I said, sitting alone, smiling and everything, that was like in the end of the Infinity Gauntlet comic. But of course that was a different outcome. And things like that. And of course, like in the comics, Nebula, his other daughter, but of course in the comics, she's the granddaughter of Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of confused about, but I mean, of course, I understand why Gamora, did what she did. Of course, she wanted to save her sister, and of course, you saw how their relationship was in both the Guardian movies,
right?
Especially the second ones, like why was Nebula have all these cybernetic parts, because the way she did it, because Nebula was like, she can never be like best Gamora in any way. So Thanos, he just kept upgrading her, and she still not get it done.
Right.
She, like, her and Gamora had that hatred for each other, but up until that realized, it's like, they love each other, but Nebula, she does it in her own way. Then, and of course, when they were fighting on Titan, that's when she told Star-Lord what happened to her. It's like, Gamora's dead, and of course,
that's when and that's when he messed it up, because they could have defeated Thanos at that time, but he got really into his emotions, and he was able to break free. Yeah, because the whole time in my head, I was in the movies. I was just like, I was not trying to be the one, that one person that talks to the screen. You'd be like, God, will you shut up? Right. I was trying not to be that person, and I was just like, okay, I'm like, calm down, dude, calm down. Oh, what have you? And because remember, I think Gamora knew what was going to go on, because remember, she told him, she said, when the time comes, I need you to kill me. I need you to, please do that for me. And he said, because I know something that, he doesn't, which was the location of the stone. Yeah. But she knew what was about to go down. So, to try to, before, because, she was operating under the thing of dead men tells no tales.
Right.
So that's the reason why she was like, please kill me, so I wouldn't have to reveal that to you. And, therefore you wouldn't know where it is. Yeah. Of course, he had the magic stone. Remember when he tried to shoot her, and then it turned into bubbles. Right. And then another time she tried to slit her throat, and and I think it turned into bubbles, didn't it? Yeah. When they was in the trying to get the soul stone.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because when he went to nowhere trying to get the reality stone, of course, the way Thanos was taken down is like, no, Thanos ain't going down that easy. Of course, like I said, it was he used the reality stone to fool with him.
Right.
And of course, you got to think about it with Scarlet Witch and Vision, because Wanda, she didn't want to destroy him. So, he told her, no, you have to destroy me so Thanos won't get it. Destroy the stone. Well, like I said, she did, and she accomplished that. But then, of course, Thanos had the time stone. Just twist his wrist, brought him back,
and then
killed him. Like,
his head and killed him again.
Yeah, like a double fatality or something like that.
I thought about that. I said, fatality. Flawless victory.
Yep. And of course, we had to explain the end credit, with Nick Fury, like, they were driving in the city, and it was like, oh, so, look out, and like, he's seen people disintegrating, and of course, he was on his little gadget trying to contact somebody. It's like, then of course he did, then of course you see what happened to him. It's like, man, he's like, mother, and then when disintegrated and he dropped on the ground.
Too. But not before the signal got out, so you know what's gonna come.
Yeah, and it's like, my boy Ferris asked, like, who is that? It's like, it's Captain Marvel.
Yep. He was on the list too, Captain Marvel. I think he was number 3 on the list.
Yeah. But of course, many people had that title because, many people was like, oh, it's Captain Marvel always been a woman? Said, no. The original was a man because his son became Captain Marvel. Somebody else became Captain Marvel. Then Carol Danvers got promoted to that character, she inherited that title.
Right.
I mean, just like with Black Panther, that's a title. It's not always been T'Challa.
Yeah, because there was even some times where I think I read even Shuri had assumed the Black Panther title. Or
yeah, because like T'Challa, he was living in the States at the time, when Shuri took over the title.
Exactly.
And that's what got me thinking about, they ought to do a spinoff for Black Panther. Like, because like the spinoff and, have it explained like the reign of his father. During his time, and as Black Panther, cross paths with Captain America and with Claw, things like that. And of course, another trivia, like the beginning of Black Panther, like the guy that played T'Chaka, that's the actor's son, John Connie. He played T'Chaka in the as an old man.
Oh, okay, right.
So basically,
Marvel Universe, they're really good about doing back stories. I mean, look at how many X-Men, Days of Futures Past, went into, whole backstories of, the X-Men and, the different characters. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do that.
Yeah, because, that'd be great. Just like, have his son, like, play him, like a young version of him, like during this time, during that reign, him, like I said, fighting the bad guys, fighting Captain America. Of course, meeting Ramonda, T'Challa and Shuri's mother.
Right.
But of course, in the comics, Ramonda is T'Challa's stepmom.
Stepmom, right. I remember reading that.
And so I said, just have that relationship, like just have a young actress, play, them like young lovers and stuff during that time, and probably like towards the end, have them like show them older and things like that. And of course, what happened with T'Chaka and Civil War and things like that. Of course, him being killed by the Winter Soldier versus being killed by Claw in the comics. That's like that. So, but now, just look at the results of both movies. Like I said, Black Panther he reached like in the $1 billion club, I think, last month.
Right.
And then of course, Avengers: Infinity War, it hit that mark in a week.
Yeah. Riding on the coattails of because wasn't it supposed to come out in June or something like that, and they decided to move it up?
No, Infinity War came out in May. Came out May 4th was the original date, but Robert Downey Jr. decided it's like why don't you move it up a week early?
Okay.
Yeah, because
they were still riding high on Black Panther, so. Right. I mean, it kind of made sense to, ride those coattails as, Black Panther was riding high.
There's another reason, because in May, originally, you had Infinity War, but now Deadpool 2 got moved up a month early because Deadpool 2 is supposed to come out June 1st. They moved it to May 18th. So basically, yeah, Marvel going to compete against each other.
Yeah.
So that's why, decided, hey, move it up a week early so that way, get a success in. Then Deadpool 2, it'll do its thing. And of course, a week after that, it would be the Han Solo movie.
Right. Because I think that was the 25th, I believe.
Yep.
Because, yeah, I'm going to go see that.
Yeah. The 25th, that's the same day as when the New Hope came out in 1977.
Yeah. Nah, I just I always laugh at that because I told you the story with my cousin. Always blame me for him missing the Hulk that day.
Yeah. That was
blame my mom. I didn't have nothing to do with that.
I mean, during that time, I was like 7 months old when Star Wars came out, like the first one.
Right.
So yeah, it's like, being part of that culture. So yeah, that's another thing I'm looking forward to this summer, because summer 2017, those blockbusters, it was kind of dry because I've only able to see 5 movies out of that from last year, which Guardians Volume 2, of course, Your Girl Wonder Woman,
right,
Spider-Man Homecoming, Dunkirk, and Girls Trip. That was it. But the rest of that summer was dry. It was just nothing else I was interested in.
See, I was hesitant because, Wonder Woman, that's one of my favorite DC characters. So I was like, oh, they're going to probably mess this up. So I just said, you know what? Just give it a chance. Just give it a chance. You probably will enjoy it. And yeah, lo and behold that I did. But I have to say, and I can't even tell you how long I have been like looking forward to a movie. Like I said, I'm going to go see it opening weekend. Now, granted, I didn't get to see the Avengers opening weekend because, AKA work and then some other stuff that came out. But, I said, lo and behold, I'm definitely going to go see it, this past Sunday, and I got a chance to see it this past Sunday. And I said, yeah, I was like, y'all bringing it with the blockbusters now. I was just really happy to see that.
Yeah, and of course, next month, you got The Incredibles 2. You got the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And, of course, there's Ocean's 8. But I'm kind of skeptical. But, of course, I like the Ocean's 11 movies. But, 12 was kind of boring to me. But, 13 made up for it. But still, seeing that universe, seeing, the female version of what the guys did in the first one. And that,
right, with Sandra Bullock and Rihanna,
Kate Blanchett.
Yeah. I actually just... I don't know. Did you download your copy of Black Panther? Because I surely did when I got home last night from work. Or yesterday morning, I should say.
Yeah, I went by Best Buy to see, the 4K came out a week early, but it was only the digital only. So I was like, I'll wait till next week, get the physical copy.
Yeah, I went on ahead and downloaded it. So, and so I have a copy of it. And I know Corey, she's going to definitely enjoy it, seeing it again whenever.
Yeah, because definitely on Tuesday when I pick it up on 4K Blu-ray, I'm definitely gonna do a video on that and show things like that. But anything else you looking forward to see this summer? Like, of course, you already know what's coming out in June. Like anything like the rest of the summer that catches your eye?
The ones that you name are definitely the ones that I'm definitely looking forward to. Of course, The Incredibles. That was one of my favorite movie because that came out. Good God, 2004, something like that. So definitely looking forward to that. I'm looking for Han Solo. I'm going to go see that on the 26th. The Jurassic one, it's kind of hit or miss for me because I never really was into Jurassic Park. But, I sat down and watched them and I enjoyed them. So maybe that one I can wait for. But those are the main ones that I'm definitely looking forward to. The Oceans one, I can wait till that comes out on demand or something.
Yeah. Of course, in July... there's of course Ant-Man and Wasp. I'll watch that. But of course, I haven't watched the first one, so I can get caught up. Also, that same month is The Equalizer 2 with Denzel.
Yeah, that's the first sequel he's ever done in his whole career. And of course, the week after that is the next Mission Impossible, the Fallout one. Yeah, I saw the previews of that one when I went to go see Infinity Wars. I think Angela Bassett was in that one too. Yeah,
along with Henry Cavill, like Superman, because it shows off his mustache. Because the funny thing is, like, Warner Brothers spent $1 million digitizing his mustache.
You told me about that. I remember you said something about that. I'm like, really? Okay, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but it didn't help out Justice League that much. I mean, to me, it was okay. It just wasn't as strong. It was like a hit and miss for them for the DCEU because, like I said, Wonder Woman was the only hit they had under their belt.
Right, Wonder Woman. Oh my gosh, I was very proud about the Wonder because that's always been my favorite, superhero, and I thought they did a really good job with that one. I even did enjoy, the role that she played in the Justice League as well. But they came up better with the story because I thought it was kind of grasping at straws a little bit.
Right.
They cheat their end goal, but still, it's just like.
Yeah, of course. Her sequel comes out next year. I think it's December 2019. If I think, I could be mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was wondering when the next Black Panther, and they were saying probably as soon as or as late as I know the next Infinity War. I heard it was going to be next year.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and the next Black Panther might not be to 2020 or 2021.
Yeah, Lady Foxfire is like, the Superman mustache. Yeah.
Yeah, I kept on glancing to see who was chatting on there.
Like I said, I appreciate the support.
Oh yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Lady Foxfire. I can't go with Firefox. Foxfire, sorry, I didn't mean to butcher your name. Thank you for definitely watching this.
Yeah, it's like you have great taste in movies. Yeah. No doubt. I mean, think about it. We just grew up on these kind of movies over the years and things like that.
Exactly. Like I said, I want them to explore this one, as you see, the relationship between the Black Panther and Storm. But like you said, they can't get the rights to that. So, I think it's sometime next year. Disney. I think when the government gives them the approval that Disney can get Fantastic Four, the X-Men universe, that way they'll come back to the MCU. And basically of course, they're going to reboot and just start it all over again. But pretty much like they did with the, of course, like they did with the X-Men movies, because, I always said, you look at the older ones that came out and you saw the interaction between, I want to call him Captain Picard. No, Professor Xavier and Mystique. And then, they act like they don't know each other in the earlier movies. And then when they visited, they were like, they grew up like brother and sister.
Yeah. Yeah, like the First Class trilogy. That was great, well written. And of course, especially what Hugh Jackman did with Logan, that was a great send-off. Yeah. That was another good casting as well. So character. He does make a good Wolverine. Yeah, because originally Hugh Jackman wasn't even the first choice. It was Doug Ray Scott.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I saw there was a video on YouTube. It's like these stars, they were originally cast, but they got passed over. Then of course the person that replaced them ended up reaping the rewards. Jean-Luc Picard. I hear you, Lady. Yeah. I was talking about Patrick Stewart. Yeah, he pulls it off. I mean, heck, him and Ian McKellen, man, it's like. Yes, he was a great Magneto, and of course Michael Fassbender, played the younger version of him. It was like, he pulled that off. Right, I thought he did. As a young Professor X, and even though Apocalypse wasn't as great as in the trilogy, but yet when he finally shaved his head and then okay, yes, that's the Professor X that we like. That's I thought that. It's like I said it before, there's just certain actors that was born to play that role, and I'm sorry, Patrick Stewart was Professor Xavier. When I saw that, I'm like, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, and of course, 3 years ago, it was funny. You had two Quicksilvers. Like, you had one in the MCU, and then you get one in the Fox universe. But one in Age of Ultron, of course, he bit the dust. I was like, oh, man, they killed Kick-Ass. And funny enough, that was his co-star from Kick-Ass in the Days of Futures Past. So, like, it was so cool about him. It's like him speeding around, slowing down time and stuff like that. And, like, all those security guards and so they're moving all those bullets out of the way. He just went back into real time. Just... Hold on 1 second. I got interruption. Okay. All right. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, just to say the scenario that Disney gets all those rights back, but don't expect Hugh Jackman to play Wolverine again. He is done. He's completely retired. I'm moving on. It's like it's been a great run.
Well,
17 years is
you
enough.
gotta do what you gotta do. I can't say that I too much blame them, So sometimes you just get tired of a character and you don't want to get typecast or just like, okay. But I don't see, when I see him in movies, I don't automatically think Wolverine because he has such a
Diverse.
diverse background. So yeah, I don't necessarily gonna say, when I see him in another movie, I'll be like, oh, that's Wolverine singing or whatever. No, he just Hugh Jackman. I think he's an all around great actor.
Yeah, it's like if they're gonna redo Wolverine, they can do like X-23 from Logan. I mean, she could be promoted to Wolverine because it's like a title.
Right, but don't they have to come back on? Unless I'm mistaken, don't they need to come back and explain how Patrick Xavier transferred his soul into another body after Phoenix killed him?
Yeah, the last thing. Yeah, since you mentioned that, because Dark Phoenix comes out next year,
right?
And so I guess the last 10, not being up to par. So they're going to do it again with Dark Phoenix. Is originally supposed to come out in November, but they pushed it back till Valentine's Day next year. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was always saying they said they never
explain that
completed that or came full circle with that, because all is that okay, you thought Professor Xavier was dead until at the end of the movie, and he was talking through somebody else's body. You were like, oh, wait a minute, he transferred his soul to someone. So and then they went off, and it just like they never explored that again.
Yeah, pretty much. When they went through the First Clash thing, it's like, yeah, this kind of started over how Xavier and Magneto, how they met in their youth and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a great thing. And of course, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I mean, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward, because at first I wasn't. I'm like, I don't think I want to see this Deadpool. And then when I saw the first one, I said, oh, I'm mistaken. I really like this. So I'm looking for this. The second one looks like it's going to be dang near hilarious.
Well, yeah, because I hated his first appearance, like in the X-Men Origins Wolverine. I mean, it was terrible. I was like, wait a minute, this ain't Deadpool.
No.
And I was like, man, they messed this whole thing up. Even he hated it. And of course, they redid it again. And this movie came out. It's like, yes, this is the Deadpool that we wanted the whole time,
Right.
Like the breaking the fourth wall, the cussing and the violence. Yeah, this is Deadpool. This is Wade Wilson.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it was even funny.
Do it right. Don't try to, try to clean it up. It's just like I want WWE to go back to the Attitude Era. Just get back to when you were good.
Exactly. It's like, it was funny. Like he posted that. Yeah, when he said don't make it green. Of course, he was talking about Green Lantern. Like how awful that movie was.
Let's not speak of that anymore.
Yeah. I was like, if they're gonna do that again, get Jon Stewart or Kyle Rayner to be Green Lantern. That'll be it.
Yeah, if you can pay it, if they're available, and if you can pay them enough.
Yeah, because like The Rock, or Dwayne is gonna be Black Adam for the sequel to Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And things like that, but other than that, it's like, I guess we can just get up on out of here since we discussed everything. So.
All right. So we got another person, EJ.
Right. Hey, what's up, EJ? Mm-hmm. And so yeah, we're just talking about Black Panther and Infinity War, just giving our thoughts about it, or 2 cents in on it. Appreciate you chopping through.
Yes, definitely.
But other than that, I just say it's like it's been cool. And it's like I said, first ever podcast, very special. It's like if you ever come off any good movies again, we can, I don't mind doing this again and explaining it.
Hey, I'm right there with you. If I have a day off like today, I'm right there with you. Let's just do it.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you guys. So I want to thank Lady Foxfire. I made sure I said the name right this time. Yeah. Thank you, EJ, for coming up, and anybody else who might have just been watching and maybe not have said anything. Thank you so much for supporting our podcast. Much appreciated. If there's any other movies or any other discussions that you want us to participate in or elaborate on, leave us some comments, and we definitely will jump on here and do that.
All right. Yeah. It's like I said, you can follow my channel. Also, you can follow her channel at Shy. you know, she likes to give reviews like on Stitch Fix and other topics. And of course, you know, with me and gaming and hobby movies and things like on my channel, things like that. So other than that, this is Sinister. And of course,
Shy. All right, Wakanda forever.
Yeah. Sayonara.
Sayonara.